Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Suma Nair, Director Student Affairs of Manipal University and faculty at Kasura Medical College, Manipal, and it's my privilege to take you through the proceedings this evening. Through its unparalleled teaching and research excellence, Manipal University is today a globally accepted destination by students. The diversity of disciplines and collaboration among constant institutions has aided the students and faculty to cross boundaries and explore new prospects, thus bringing into reality the vision of our founder, the late Dr. T.M.A. Pai, a Padma Shri awardee. And today is indeed a special day for the university, to be felicitating two of the stalwarts who has over the years guided and nurtured the institutional aspirations. They are no strangers to us. Dr. K. Ramnarayan, the gentleman Vice-Chancellor, who demitted office on the 31st of May, following a stupendous tenure of 5 years, and Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, the intellectual Vice-Chancellor, who took over the reins on the 1st of June. We are present here today to cherish this transition. May I invite onto the dais the following dignitaries: Dr. Ramdas M. Pai, Chancellor, Manipal University; Dr. H.S. Ballal, Pro-Chancellor, Manipal University; Dr. K. Ramnarayan, the immediate past Vice-Chancellor; Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, the current Vice-Chancellor; Dr. Ranjan R. Pai, MD and CEO, Manipal Education and Medical Group; Dr. V. Surendra Shetty, Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Manipal University; and Dr. G.K. Prabhu, Registrar, Manipal University. We start the proceedings with an invocation by Ms. Joshma, student from the Department of Public Health. The audience may remain seated during the invocation. Thank you, Joshma. It was truly melodious. Amicable and soft-spoken, our Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. V. Surendra Shetty, will now welcome the gathering.
Good evening to all of you. Dr. Ramdas Pai, Chancellor of Manipal University, the Pro-Chancellor, Dr. H.S. Balal, Dr. Ranjan Pai, CEO, MEMG, Dr. Ram Narayan, Vice President, Faculty Development and Alumni Relations, Dr. Vinod Bhatt, Vice Chancellor, Dr. G.K. Prabhu, the Registrar, heads of institutions, heads of the departments, members of the faculty, officials of Manipal University, supporting staff, esteemed invitees, my dear friends. It's a great day for all of us at Manipal University today. On this eventful occasion of change of guard, to felicitate Dr. K. Ram Narayan, who has successfully completed his 5 years tenure as the Vice Chancellor of Manipal University, now proceeding to take over as the Vice President of Faculty Development and Alumni Relations. And also to welcome and wish all the best to our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vinod Bhatt. We have with us our beloved Chancellor, Dr. Ramdas Pai, who guided the growth of our university right from its inception in 1993. I have great pleasure in extending a very warm welcome to Dr. Ramdas Pai and the First Lady, Dr. Mrs. Vasanti R. Pai. It is my privilege to welcome our Pro-Chancellor, Dr. H.S. Balal and Mrs. Indira Balal. Warm welcome to Dr. Ranjan Pai, CEO, MEMG. I extend a very warm welcome to our immediate past Vice Chancellor and presently the Vice President of Faculty Development and Alumni Relationship, who has completed his tenure and took over recently about 2 days back, and also to Mrs. Parvati Ramanarayan. And a warm welcome to our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. Vinod Bhatt and Mrs. Parvati Bhatt. My welcome is also due to our Registrar, Dr. G.K. Prabhu and Mrs. Malini Prabhu. The heads of the institutions, heads of the departments, members of the faculty, university officers, and supporting staff and esteemed invitees. I extend a very warm welcome to all of you. I also welcome the members of electronic media and press for this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We acknowledge, besides others, the presence of the heads of the various constituent institutions of the university. To offer the felicitations on behalf of this fraternity, may I, at the outset, invite Dr. Ullas Kamath, Dean, Manipal Malaka Medical College, Manipal Campus.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Respected Chancellor, Dr. Ramdas Pai, Pro-Chancellor, Dr. H.S. Balal, Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, Vice President, Faculty Development and Alumni Relation, Dr. K. Ram Narayan, MD and CEO, MEMG, Dr. Ranjan R. Pai, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Dr. Surendra Shetty, Registrar, Dr. G.K. Prabhu, dignitaries of the dais, and all the invitees. First of all, I would like to thank for me providing this opportunity to share a few words on our outgoing Vice Chancellor, Dr. K. Ram Narayan, and also an opportunity to congratulate and welcome Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt on his new assignment. The founder of Modern Management Studies Peter Drucker said, leadership is lifting a person's vision to high heights, the raising of a person's performance to a higher standard, the building of a personality beyond its normal limitations. Dr. K. Ramanarayan has lifted to high heights of vision of numerous persons, has raised to higher standard performances of numerous persons, and has built personalities of numerous beyond normal limitations. I deem it my privilege to have gotten an opportunity to speak on someone whom I deeply admire. About 20 years back from now, I still remember it was February 1995. Dr. K. Ramanarayan asked me to join a new program that our university was starting. I had my apprehensions, having entrenched in a safe MCA recognized institution. He removed my fears, depicted clarity in my role, and today I am glad that he asked me to join MMMC, of which he truly is the architect. He has been a mentor par excellence in all these years. I have had the unique opportunity to work with him from close quarters on a day-to-day basis since more than 2 decades. Having him as a boss has been one of the most satisfying work experiences that I have had. Be it time management, be it people management, be it resource management, there is no area that he did not have a command over. What sets Dr. Ramanarayan apart is his eye for detail, which is exceptional. In a new institution, with new people on board, with a totally new curriculum to teach, and equally new students to handle, it was only for his detailing, his understanding, his vision, his relentless hard work that the program could grow and blossom into what it is today, and more than 40 batches of thousands of students have already graduated. Innovation, that one thing sets apart leaders from great leaders. What Dr. Ramanarayan started as mere initiatives, which were innovations in those times, became hallmark of our institution, which I'm sure the entire university is proud of. A problem-based learning, mentor-student project, the unique program where we usher our undergraduate MBBS students into basics of research, clinical skills lab, the 100% attendance awards, all are his brainchild and all are his making. Working with Dr. Ramanarayan for such long years had taught me and others at MMMC how to be meticulously organized, how to flawlessly plan, and how to effectively execute the plan. A great leader, American wartime President Roosevelt said, "The best leader is the one who has sense enough to pick good men to do what he wants to do, and the self-restraint to keep from modeling with them while they do it." In accordance with qualities of great leaders, Dr. Ramanarayan has a way of identifying talent in people and nurturing them. By his own confession, once a few years back, I had an opportunity to move to Bangalore to associate with one of the Center for Regenerative Medicine. At that time, he called me and said very sternly, "Ullas, you are a teacher at heart, you aren't going anywhere. Sir, it was for your loving and firm feedback that I am here and love and appreciate doing what I am doing today. What you have achieved in your 5-year stint as a Vice Chancellor make all of us very proud. I would not and will not be able to list all the achievements you have made as Vice Chancellor, but noteworthy are the Center of Excellences you helped to establish, the TMAP chairs that you set up, the commendable work towards faculty training and empowerment, and through all these endeavors, raising the overall ranking of our university in various forums. It is heartening that you are now in the role of Vice President, Faculty Development and Alumni Relations, that is befitting your tens of years of work in that area. It's also heartening for us at MMMC that you will be around mentoring us. I'm sure you shall make great strides in this new role as you have done with your previous roles. Dr. Ramnarayan is an embodiment of many personalities. Whatever be the difficulty, his affable smile can diffuse any conflict. Whatever be the crisis, his nuanced understanding of the situation can create new possibilities. Whatever be the problem, his patient listening can instill faith in the seeker. A leader in both personal and professional life, he has stood the test of time and practices a leadership philosophy that is unparalleled. I would like to conclude a word from famous Zen master Lao Tzu, which describes Dr. Ramnarayan. A leader is best when people barely know he exists. When his work is done, his aim fulfilled, they will say, we did ourselves. Thanks a lot once again. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Dr. Ulas. May I now request Dr. Dilip Naik, Dean, Manipal College of Dental Sciences, Mangalore, to extend his felicitation greetings.
Respected Chancellor Dr. Ramdas Senpai, Pro-Chancellor Dr. H.S. Ballal, the Vice Chancellor Dr. Vinod Bhatt, the outgoing Vice Chancellor Dr. Ramnarayan, Dr. Ranjan Pai, Dr. MD and CEO MEMG, Dr. V. Surendra Shetty, Pro-Vice Chancellor, and Dr. G.K. Prabhu, Registrar, members of the esteemed audience. I'm here to felicitate Professor Ramnarayan, and I'm very thankful to the Manipal University for giving me a chance to do so, because I have been a student of his also. And I would also like to welcome and congratulate the Vice Chancellor, new incoming Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt. My memory goes back to the year 1980. I was a second BDS student, and we used to have the pathology lectures in the afternoon. And most of the pathology lecturers were ladies. And here comes a young man with a thick mop of hair at 2 o'clock. He was short, and he came inside, and he was standing there, and suddenly he said, I'm Dr. Ramnarayan, and I'm going to take a class on inflammation. And the whole class, the eyes widened, because usually we used to have a heavy lunch and come, and all the ladies used to talk, they were very soft-spoken. And then he talked about inflammation. And the way he talked, he made us believe, we started feeling the cardinal signs of inflammation. And he started going this way and that way. I could feel the neutrophils moving in the blood vessels. And that 45 minutes, it was so engrossing. And I thought, oh, this is a young lecturer. Usually they try to show off. And next, it was 10 years later, as a young lecturer, I was called for the medical education department. His hairline had receded a little bit. But the enthusiasm, the passion, the zeal was still there. I thought, no, this is medical education. He must be talking like this for medical education. Then the year 2010, he became the Vice Chancellor. I'll not talk about the hairline now. And he was talking really well. And I thought, for 35 years, this person could talk like this. He has the enthusiasm, the zeal, the fire in the belly. I could think of only one analogy, that is Sachin Tendulkar. Because he was the only person I thought was consistent. And here was a professor who was so consistent. Incidentally, Ramnarayan is a very good cricketer. And what was Indian cricket's loss is Manipal University's gain, I would say. Then I was asked to start the Faculty of Dentistry at MMMC. Everybody used to tell MMMC is different from the other colleges. The only thing I saw was they used to wear neckties. So I thought that was the only difference. But when I went inside, I saw the stamp of Professor Ramnarayan all over. It was innovations. It was unconventional. You can see his college day. He thinks out of the box always. And he said, don't worry, I am with you. And he took me through those 3 or 4 years where I had to deal with the assessors, plan the college at Manipal and Malacca. And he used to breathe positiveness. That is very important. His enthusiasm rubs on you. And that is what a vice chancellor is all about. He should motivate people. And he was a very great motivator. I not say was, he still is a great motivator. You say there is a boss, there's a leader. What's the difference between a boss and a leader? Boss says, go. But the leader says, let's go. Here was a true leader. And he was, wherever he went, he created his medical education. He used to go all over the dental colleges, thanks to his association with our society. And he has visited more dental colleges than I have done, I think so. And I would tell you that he's a true representative. He was the face of Manipal as the vice chancellor. He stood for the core values of Manipal: integrity, transparency, quality, teamwork, execution with passion and a humane touch. All this was personified in the vice chancellor, Dr. Ram Narayan. In his speeches in orientation, he used to say, you will not get always what you like, but you should like what you get. But now, Ram Narayan finally has got what he likes. He has become the Vice President, Faculty Development and Alumni Relations. So finally, he's here with us, though he's no more the Vice Chancellor, as a mentor. Incidentally, Ravi Shastri has also been appointed as a mentor for the Indian cricket team. But he has been appointed only for the Bangladesh tour. I don't know why we need a mentor for a Bangladesh tour. But Ram Narayan is here, Professor Ram Narayan is here for a very long haul. Now, if you ask me, because I've been asked to felicitate the Vice Chancellor, he happens to be the 5th Vice Chancellor. So if I have to write history, I would write it like Professor Ram Narayan would write it. Very simple. I would say, here was a person who was simple, humble, unassuming, an excellent academician, an able administrator, and above all, a wonderful human being. Now, I would like to end the way Professor Ram Narayan always ends. He talks about Robert Frost. Those of you who have known him very closely. He says, 2 roads diverged in the yellow wood, and I'm going to change here. And Professor Ram Narayan took the untrodden path, and that made the difference. The difference Professor Ram Narayan made to Manipal University, thanks to the BRICS ranking, he made it truly global, and he made it worldwide Manipal. Thank you, Professor Ram Narayan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nayak, for regaling us with the special anecdotes. I now call upon Dr. Harish Chandra Hebar, Director, School of Information Sciences, to proffer his felicitations.
Respected dignitaries, on and off the dais, good evening to one and all. If I have to speak about Dr. Ram Narayan, it reminds me of the story of a blind man describing an elephant. Even though I know him for the past 20 to 25 years, I feel I know very little about him because every interaction with him all these years taught me something new and unique. I am here to express or felicitate Dr. Ram Narayan. I do it on behalf of my personal capacity, on behalf of my senior faculty members at the School of Information Science, and some of the senior colleagues at Manipal Institute of Technology also. We from the technical community feel that Dr. Ram Narayan was people's vice chancellor, just like Dr. Abdul Kalam, who was also called as people's president of India. We model Dr. Ram Narayan as an inspiring teacher, a good friend, and an able administrator, a genuine leader who stands by you as a role model for all of us to emulate. I'll give a couple of instances to substantiate what I talked right now. Those were the days, somewhere during the year 1988 and 89. We were very active faculty members at MIT in the Department of Continuing Education and Student Counseling, which was just formed and headed by Professor C.N. Sridharan, Professor of Mathematics Department. Dr. Ram Narayan's demonstrative lectures, like pouring water into the glass with and without funnel. His demonstration of an outstanding teacher, those were the days where PPTs were not there. And he used to describe with OHPs and that the transparent, I think, sheets, where he used to put the outstanding teachers in a 2D coordinate. And he used to joke about an outstanding teacher who's got out of the coordinate, which is still green in my memory. While teachers are busy covering the syllabus within the time frame, Dr. Ram Narayan was very particular about uncovering the syllabus and creating excitement in the subject. We at the School of Information Science recently had, about a year ago, faculty development program for all our faculty. And we will never forget his involvement in the faculty development program at MCPD, even during his Vice Chancellor's regime. And it was really touching for all of us. A Vice Chancellor, such a busy person, can take some time off, act, touch hearts. And sir, we all, faculty from School of Information Science, always remember your true, I think, heart and simplicity. I think it's for us to emulate. Here is one instance. As an administrator, as a true friend, I would like to rather mention. I became in charge of my present institution, School of Information Science, by accident. Like Manmohan Singh, the accidental Prime Minister of India, but I became in charge of the school due to sudden demise of my earlier director. There needed an immediate replacement, hence I was chosen as an in charge. Those were the initial years of our institutions, and we are only 5 to 6 faculty members who came from MIT Manipal. It was an innovation, as it is, and a small bunch of postgraduate students. My earlier director used to always appreciate Dr. Ram Narayan's style of functioning a lot, especially for creating a friendly environment in an institution for students, teaching, and even support staff. When responsibility of institution suddenly came onto my head, I decided to meet Dr. Ram Narayan for advice and sought his appointment. To my surprise, he immediately agreed for a meeting with him. Being new in the administrative role, I was not sure how long I had to wait to meet a director. However, I went there with lots of apprehensions in my mind. When I went to his cabin, what I saw outside his cabin was the sticker, "Do not wait, come inside." Generally, it is the other way around. Please wait, meeting is on. Needless to say that the discussion with him gave me lots of confidence for my new role as an administrator. Couple of instances as a genuine leader who stands by you. As a head of the institution, we all went through recently a leadership transformation program. The program was really good, but the mentorship process was not all that comfortable, and in some cases even humiliating too. During the initial stages, when some of us were totally confused, like me, he's the one who gave us the confidence to go ahead. The second instance, I had an opportunity to be part of a meeting where one of our senior faculty members, not my institution, of Manipal University, was in difficulty in going ahead with research work due to some strange factors. It's not worth mentioning here. The faculty member was supposed to explain the research progress as well as explain the reason for the confusion, which is undoubtedly a very tough situation for any senior faculty member. It was Dr. Ram Narayan who realized the situation, able to see the things from the point of view of a research scholar. He made the faculty comfortable and sorted out the issue and gave an opportunity to continue the research work. On that day, I felt, here is the leader who stands by you and supports you if you are honest and right. Sir, even though you did all those things, you had to bear with unpleasant conversations in that meeting. Sir, I believe you remember I expressed the same through mail the same day. Hope you remember it. In conclusion, from engineering community, I would say, Dr. Ram Narayan is approachable, accessible, available always, with a smile on his face. His passion for teaching and academics, curriculum innovation workshops and initiatives, faculty development programs are some of the examples for all of us to emulate. His efforts towards holistic development of the university, leading to brand image, ranking of Manipal University, speaks volume of a person. Dr. Ram Narayan provided equal importance for all the units of the Manipal University, be it medical, engineering, management, or any other discipline. His inimitable style of oratory skills with poetic words, time management, and treating people with respect will be remembered forever. Whoever interact with him, meet him, listen to him, will always come back inspired. In many instances, he tried to bring faculty members from different institutions of Manipal University under one platform and tried to establish cohesion and togetherness. An academician par excellence, a role model to emulate for all the teachers and administrators alike, a vice chancellor with kind heart. Sir, we salute you on behalf of all engineering committee and remember you forever. On this occasion, on behalf of all engineering community of Manipal University, we wish Dr. Ramanarayan all the very best in his new assignment as Vice President, Faculty Development, Alumni Relations. We welcome our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, and assure you our continued cooperation to both of them in taking Manipal University to greater heights. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hebar. To offer felicitations on behalf of the university, may I invite our dynamic Pro-Chancellor, Dr. H.S. Balal.
Our Chancellor, Dr. Ramdas Pai, other distinguished dignitaries on the dais, and my dear friends. I am having mixed feelings today. One is to say bye-bye, farewell to our immediate past Vice Chancellor, Ram Narayan, and to welcome our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt. A lot of things have been told about Ram Narayan. Dilip was comparing him to the cricketer. It's a loss to Indian cricket, gain to Manipal University. See, for me, it's a personal loss because I have been closely associated with him for the last 6 or 7 years, and we were neighbors for the last 5 years. He has been a very, very meticulous person, always on the move. Now, this evening when we were having tea, Parvati, I should say Parvati Ramanarayan, because our Vice Chancellor's wife's name also is Parvati. Parvati Ramanarayan said, even now, after he demitted the office of Vice Chancellor, 8:30 he rushes to the college, to the university. And I had to remind him that you are no more the Vice Chancellor. So that means a man on the move. It reminds me of Martin Luther King Jr.'s, quote. It says, if you cannot fly, you run. If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot walk, at least crawl. But what you have to do, at least keep moving, never remain stagnant. That's what Ram Narayan is doing, See, time has just flown, because time flies. It's hard for me to believe that Ram Narayan has finished 5 years as the Vice Chancellor. It is like, if you go to a movie theater and see a very entertaining, absorbing movie, and even if you spend 3 hours inside the movie theater, you feel as if you have spent only half an hour. That's the feeling that I have of his long association of 5 years. He is a very innovative person. That's what Ullas has said, And he has done a lot of innovations, especially in academic activities like the functioning of Board of Studies, Academic Senate, etc., etc. And the contribution in the university's, reputation being scaled up. Our university was nowhere in the picture in BRICS ranking, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Year before last, it was ranked as the 100th university, and a year later, we moved up to 85. And also, recent weeks magazine has said, ranked our university, Manipal, as the first private deemed university to be first in the country amongst the deemed universities, which is very, very creditable, because he is the leader who is, the running the university, leading from the front, setting an example for others to develop. or follow, emulate. He is a leader. He has done lot of leadership activities now, for example, leadership development programs for grooming the future leaders of the country, of our university called SMILE. And medical education department, he is one of the founders of medical education department. Dr. Krishna Rao, the stalwart, is here. And also MCPD, Manipal Center for Personality Development, he's leading and doing an excellent work. And I tell you, his presentation of university, overview of the university during the convocations, it's something excellent, I tell you. And he does lot of homework, every convocation you see, lot of changes that he does. That's very, very absorbing and very impressive. This is very important for us because during convocations, we get lot of people from outside and also the parents of the children. I always say we do not believe in advertising about our university in newspapers, televisions and all. We want people to come and see for themselves what we do in Manipal University so that they can go and tell their friends, which will have more impact about the projection of our university, which Ram Narayan has been doing for the last 5 years in an exemplary fashion. Excellent Ram Narayan. And his speeches, rhymes, it still rings in my ears, to ponder, to wonder, to render, these things, these are his patents, but I am sure he won't, sue me in the court of law for plagiarism, but it's excellent. It's a great thing, Ram Narayan. I was really very thrilled with your long association. And the good thing is, though he has demitted the office of the Vice Chancellor of our university, as has been already told, he has become the management has decided to appoint him as the Vice President of Faculty Development and Alumni Relations. And I'm sure he will do well because alumni relations is one of our weak points. That's the reason why we thought we should have a personality like Ram Narayan to lead that, which I am sure it will develop over a period of time. I wish you all the best, Ram, as the Vice President for the during your term of office. Now, coming to our bridegroom of today, Hattangadi Vinod Bhatt, because they say he's a man of few words, reserved man, very difficult to approach. That's the general feeling, including my wife also says, he's a very little reserved and all. See, I am reminded of the story or the slogan of Sanjay Gandhi during emergency time. He said, "Baate kam, kaam zyada." That is less of talk and more of work. He is a man who believes in that, And I tell you, his administrative experience, I know him for the last decade or so, from close quarters after I moved into Manipal. And he was a registrar of our university for about 3 years, from 2005 onwards. And after that, he took over as the Pro-Vice Chancellor till he took over the office of the Vice Chancellor. He has a long administrative experience and is excellent in building international relationship. That's why as a Pro-Vice Chancellor, we have given him the responsibility of building up the international relationship like faculty exchange, student exchange, which he has done in an exemplary fashion. And also he has established various university departments like statistics, virology, etc., in addition to the regular institutions that we have. And one of the areas, when we have looked into the rankings of the universities, one of the areas where we were lacking was the research activities. So we have given that responsibility to Vinod Bhatt to take care of these research activities. I am very happy to tell you that during the last 3 or 4 years, our research activities, the funding and the amount of research papers that have come out of the university has almost increased 3 times than what it was in the past. That is one of the reasons why our rankings in BRICS or in general ranking or weak ranking us as number 1 is all because of these great activities or the contribution of Dr. Vinod Bhatt. And he has appointed 2 directors for research activities, one for the health science side, Udupa is there, and one for the technology side, Raghuveer Pai is there, basically to promote these research activities. And also, he was instrumental in starting Manipal University Press, which is an absolute necessity for any university. And I am very happy to say that during the last 2 years of its existence, more than 40 books have been published. And the entire credit should go to Vinod Bhatt, who has been leading from the front. And I tell you, he's a learned man. though he's soft-spoken, hardly speaks, very man of few words. I have lot of respect for this man. And I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind that our university will scale to greater heights during his tenure as Vice Chancellor. Now, last week, Ram Narayan gave a farewell tea party. And during the felicitations, our Director of Public Relations, Alex Chandy, said, Ram Narayan's time, the university was ranked #1 by Week magazine, but I'm sure during Vinod Bhatt's times, it will still scale to greater heights. Then Vinod said, from one, where else I can go above one? That sort of wittiness he has got. Is a very witty person, a humorous person. So you will, if you know him from close quarters, you will know what a personality he is. And as I said earlier, I have no doubt whatsoever in my mind that during his tenure of office as the Vice Chancellor of our university, the reputation of our university will scale to greater heights. I wish you all the best, Vinod, during your tenure of office. And also, I pray God to grant Ram Narayan and his family and Vinod Bhatt and their family health, happiness and prosperity. Thank you very much for the opportunity given.
Thank you, sir. As very rightly put by our Pro-Chancellor, Dr. Ram Narayan's tenure as the 5th Vice-Chancellor of the university was commendable. Thanks to his tireless efforts, the university is currently not only the top-ranked private university in the country, but also in the top 100 in the BRICS list of universities. The university citation is a fitting appreciation of this achievement. May I request Dr. Purnima Baliga, Dean, Kasturba Medical College, Manipal, to read out the citation, please.
Respected Chancellor Dr. Ramdas M. Pai, Pro-Chancellor Dr. H.S. Balal, Vice-Chancellor Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, Vice President, Faculty Development and Alumni Relation, Dr. K. Ram Narayan, MD and CEO, MEMG, Dr. Ranjan Pai, Pro-Vice Chancellor Dr. Surendra Shetty, and Registrar Dr. G.K. Prabhu, the August gathering, good evening. I am very happy to be standing here, and I thank the university to have given me the opportunity to read the citation. It goes as follows. It's with a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation that the faculty, staff, and students of Manipal University would like to place on record the valuable contributions of Dr. K. Ram Narayan, who has just successfully completed his tenure as a Vice-Chancellor of Manipal University. Under his able guidance and stewardship, the university has successfully passed by many significant milestones in the last 5 years. With consummate academic credentials and an illustrious career spanning over 4 decades, Dr. Ram Narayan has an outstanding teacher of pathology in the field of medicine, associating himself solely with the Manipal group his entire professional life. His passion for teaching and uncompromising emphasis on quality has been a source of inspiration for his students, who have consistently recognized his extraordinary skill sets by bestowing him with outstanding teaching award in various years. His steadfast belief in the need for quality instruction and excellence in the classroom eventually has mushroomed into faculty development workshops, which he now organizes and conducts periodically throughout the various Manipal campuses worldwide. An ardent, acclaimed researcher and an erudite scholar of international repute with postdoctoral work from the USA, Dr. Ram Narayan has published extensively in his field, primarily in the area of health profession and education. A pioneer in the founding faculty of the Department of Medical Education at Manipal, he was instrumental in guiding and implementing major curricular changes in that area. In addition to his teaching and other scholarly responsibilities, due to his vast and varied skill sets, he has held numerous administrative positions of responsibility, including the Dean of Student Affairs, KMC Manipal, Dean MMMC Manipal Campus, and Pro-Vice Chancellor, eventually culminating in his appointment as the Vice Chancellor of the university. Leading by example, His personal commitment to excellence was a source of inspiration to all, and the institution blossomed and grew at a healthy pace under his vigilant guidance. His leadership and vision for the university, combined with his insightful and inspiring thoughts on the various issues, provided the much-needed impetus for the institutional growth during this period. His sense of objectivity and willingness to listen to others' ideas made him a much sought-after colleague and fostered an environment of mutual respect and trust. His sense of objectivity and dedicated efforts towards reaching a goal, as well as his uncanny insights, were all qualities which were extremely valuable to the success and well-being of our institution. While expressing our gratitude to Dr. Ram Narayan for his outstanding service, we cherish his continued association with our university. We offer him our warmest congratulations and our collective thanks for his long-standing dedication and invaluable contributions to our campus community. May he be blessed with wonderful health and happiness. Signed by Dr. Ramdas M.Pai, President and Chancellor. Thank you.
May I request our Chancellor, Dr. Ramdas M.Pai, to present the citation and Dr. Ranjan Pai to give away the memento, please. I request our former Vice Chancellor, Dr. K. Ram Narayan, to address the gathering.
Chancellor Dr. Ramdas Pai, the galaxy of distinguished people on the dais, all the very illustrious and esteemed invitees in this hall, a very good evening to you all. It is embarrassing for me to hear all that is being said. I sometimes wonder, is it me? I want to thank all those who have spoken so well about me, and I cannot not express my gratitude today, because this is the occasion when I can do that, and I will be very brief. To begin with, I have to acknowledge with a deep sense of indebtedness my gratitude to Dr. Ramdas Pai, Mrs. Vasanti Pai, Dr. Ranjan, for having had the faith, the confidence, and the trust to make me lead Manipal University for the last 5 years. It was an opportunity that I took up with trepidation. When the offer came, I was somewhat tentative as I began. I was not sure what I was to do, and that's when Dr. Ranjan told me, you must be excited about it. You must enjoy doing this, and that's the way you will lead the university. I took that very seriously, and I started enjoying what I was to do. I must at this point of time narrate to you an incident when I met the then governor of West Bengal, Mr. M.K. Narayanan, whom I happened to visit when he was in Raj Bhavan in Calcutta. He asked me one question, Ram Narayan, tell me, are you enjoying your vice chancellorship? Because every day I have a vice chancellor coming. He is the chancellor of many universities in West Bengal. And he says every other day there is a vice chancellor who comes and tells me, please relieve me of this post. I have had enough. There is so much pressure. There is so much of political maneuvering. It is impossible for me to continue. Please let me go. Please let me go. I want to know, are you enjoying your vice chancellorship? And I told him, I am enjoying every minute of it. And that is what I intended to convey. And I said, that is because we have an environment that enables us to give our best. Why I'm saying this is that the environment that the Chancellor and the other members of the management have created enabled me to give my best. And this one will not realize till you go and see other universities. During my Vice Chancellorship, I had opportunities to visit and speak in different universities. The more I saw other universities, the more I am convinced that it is a blessing to be in Manipal University. Because many Vice Chancellors are unable to function for various reasons, and they confide this to me. They say, we cannot function. This has never happened here. And that is why I believe that this is an opportunity, and I want to thank Dr. Pai for having set that as the role model, for not having interfered at all. Not a single instance I can remember when he said, do this or that. It was total freedom and autonomy, which I enjoyed, and I want to thank Dr. Pai and all the members for having given this opportunity. When I took over, as I said, I was tentative. One person I always went up to was Dr. H.S. Balal. As the Pro-Chancellor, as a mentor, as a guide, as a friend, as an advisor. It is very easy to sit in a chair, but sometimes decisions are tricky, difficult. I needed someone, I needed a sounding board. I needed to discuss something. And I had excellent colleagues. I'll come to them later. But the first person I'll go is to Dr. H.S. Balal. I'll ask him, what do you feel about it? What do you think about it? So it used to be an opportunity for me to interact, learn from him, and that experience and expertise that he had guided me, not only in the initial years, at every stage during the 5 years that I was the Vice Chancellor. I must acknowledge today with gratitude his support, and I hope I will continue to have that support in the years to come. I have had an excellent team of Pro-Vice Chancellors. I was fortunate that Dr. Vinod Bhatt was handling international affairs and research. I need not even look that side because he'll handle it. I don't have to worry about it. I had Dato Razak handling the Malacca matters. I had Professor Surendra Shetty handling the Mangalore campus issues. When all this was handled, it was easy for me to focus on the things I wanted to do, and that made all the difference. If I were to be bothered with certain issues which might be taking a lot of time but not very productive at the end of it all, I cannot focus. And that is where I want to acknowledge again the support, the camaraderie, and the companionship of my Pro-Vice Chancellors who have been with me and have always been a tremendous source of inspiration and support. Thank you all very much. I had an excellent relationship with the registrar, Dr. G.K. Prabhu. We couldn't have hit it off better. From day one, we started functioning as if we had known each other. My initial contact with him was we went together to conduct the Manipal University All India Entrance Exam. That was the first time we had been together. But after that, the real association began when he, as the registrar, used to come. We used to have very rewarding discussions. And I want to acknowledge at this time the help, the support that he has given me throughout my tenure. He was handling all the messy business, all the difficult things, leaving all the more comfortable things to me. And for that I must thank him because he was like a buffer to me. Many things did not come to me. He will handle it. So that way, I must really thank Dr. G.K. Prabhu for having been like a buffer and supporting me throughout my tenure. I have to express my indebtedness to the members of the Board of Management. They were the people who constantly kept prodding me. Do this, do this. They'd only give the idea, but implementation had to be soon, and I had to get back to the board. So it was not always easy for me to find out a way forward. And that's the time when I used to consult my colleagues and how to go to China, start the TMFI chair, start the Manipal Education System Vice Chancellor's Council. These were just ideas to make it something that is implementable required a lot of planning, organization, and to make it work at the end of it all so that there are tangible results. So the Board of Management have been extremely supportive and at times almost pushing me, prodding me, almost coercing me to do things, and I must acknowledge this support that I have received from the Board of Management. I have to thank each and every university official. It may be difficult for me to name because the list is endless. There are so many names, and if I mention some names, I think I will be doing injustice to the others. But I have to acknowledge all the officials of the university, all the supporting staff of the university. I have to acknowledge the support I have received, the love and affection I have received during this tenure. There was not a single occasion when I had to get irritated with anyone. That I do not know whether it is my capacity or their ability, but in any case, there was no occasion when I got irritated with anyone. I was always welcomed. There was always a smile on everybody's face, and I always made it a point to walk up the staircase. I rarely took the elevator. So when I walked up the elevator, I used to meet somebody. I will talk to somebody. It's an opportunity not only to walk, but also to talk to people. So I got to meet so many people as I used to go up. The person handling the elevator was a little upset that I was not using the elevator. So I told him, I will, in the evening when I come down, I will come down the elevator. So that was an agreement. Otherwise, he was feeling left out, that he didn't have an opportunity to press the button. But this pressing the button also I was wanting to do, but he was not allowing me, because he said, I must press the button. He must press the button. He must carry the bag. I said, no, I will carry the bag and I will press the button. But they were uncomfortable, so I allowed them to do that because that was something that they wanted to do. That's fine. Now, regarding my heads of institutions, what can I say? They have been absolutely wonderful. I will mention no one by name, but all that I want to say is each and every head of institution, I have mentioned this in my convocation addresses, each one is a jewel. Each one is a gem. They have had the understanding, they have had the willingness to support, they have worked together as a team, and they have given their best. When I was given the mandate by the Board of Management to work on 3 areas, empowering the people, enabling education and research, and making this university a world-class university, there were 3 areas on which I was working. But there's one which I did not tell anyone, and that is leave people alone. As much as possible, I left my heads of institution alone. And with that freedom came responsibility. The more freedom I gave, the more responsible they became. And I have left you alone, and it is in that freedom that you have blossomed. I want to thank you for having done so well and never having let me down. Thank you so much. There were several challenges. A lot of time was taken away by functions. As part of my responsibility, I had to attend several functions. I took it as an opportunity to visit an institution. Whenever a head of institution invited me for a function, I made sure that I went there because it gave me a chance to meet the people, to know about the institution. So every institution I endeavored to visit at some point of time. I never said no whenever an invitation came. If it was possible for me, except on a Sunday. Sunday was the only day I said, please don't call me on a Sunday, I'll come any other day. But Sunday, as much as possible, I kept it for my wife. Apart from that, we had social functions. And when you have so many functions back to back, there could be an occasional mishap. As happened once, one afternoon I had to go for 2 functions. One was a Graha Pravesham and the other was Brahmopadesham. So I went into the first house, a very beautiful house. I looked around the house, then I walked up, I went into the bedroom. A bedroom was closed. I opened it, I barged into the room. There was an elderly lady who was sleeping. She suddenly jumped up. And then she asked, what do you want? I said, I'm seeing the house. Then I went into the toilet and opened the toilet, looked at the bathroom, and I told her it's very good. And then I came down. As I was coming down the staircase, Dr. R.P. Pai, who was standing there, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking at the house and appreciating the house. He said, this is not the house for housewarming. This is Brahmopadesham. The Brahmopadesham is happening outside. And it so happened that the Brahmopadesham was happening in the compound outside. I didn't realize that the first house was. Now, this happened. Of course, I dread to see that elderly woman whom I disturbed in sleep, a person who stomped into the room and then looked into the bathroom. She must be thinking, who is this stranger taking the liberty of ruining her peace and sleep? So this is what, so these things happened, but I had to laugh it off. And then the next, of course, was the housewarming, which I very carefully, yes, I very careful, so very careful. These things happen, but I guess that is part of the risk or hazard that will happen when you have multiple functions to attend. During faculty selection interviews, faculty promotion interviews, I have always ensured that a faculty who comes for that 10 or 15 minutes gets his or her due. I have been totally with that person. Whenever an interview was conducted, I have made an effort to be totally with that person, so that the best of that person, the strengths of that person will come out. This has been my very conscious effort, and I have tried to make every faculty member comfortable during a faculty selection interview. This is one of those areas where faculty are always worried about. They think about it, they have nightmares about a faculty selection interview. I have tried my best never to make them uncomfortable and making them give out their best. This has been time consuming. At the end of the day, I used to be exhausted, but to me, I believe this is the least we should do for a faculty who looks forward to that 10 minutes, which is going to determine his promotion. And therefore, this is something which I have endeavored to do, even though it was very draining on me. I enjoyed meeting each and every faculty member, be it a lecturer or a professor. In May 2010, when I took up the responsibility of being the Vice Chancellor, I had already been in Manipal 33 years. And yet, when I took up that responsibility, I found several things difficult, strange, unusual. The university processes and practices were new to me. Even though I was in Manipal, our previous Vice Chancellors, the first came from Trivandrum, the second and third came from Mangalore, the fourth Vice Chancellor came from US. They came from different places. Some have been already with the Manipal system. I was there 33 years in the Manipal system. In Manipal, in spite of it, when I took charge, I found it challenging because many processes were new to me. It took me several months, almost a year I should say, to get a feel of what's happening. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because today Manipal University is extremely fortunate because the person who is taking over is Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, who has been in the university system, who is so conversant with the university system. He has been the registrar of the university. He has been the registrar international. He has been the pro-vice chancellor for 5 years. No one could have known the university system better than him. And for him, there is no settling down time. There is no honeymoon period. It is go from the word today. We should not ask him, are you ready? We are saying, we are ready for your leadership. Have a great innings so that Manipal University becomes brighter, bolder, bigger, and most of all, better. This is my hope and my wish and my prayer, so that under Dr. Vinod Bhatt's leadership, we hope to see many more achievements and accomplishments and much more glory to Manipal University. I cannot end the speech without thanking my wife. For all these years, she has patiently tolerated me, tolerated my absences. I always enjoyed putting the pin of the sari of her blouse. But I was not getting time because Now I can assure you, from now on, I'll have enough time to pin your sari to the blouse. At the end of it all, this is what I want to tell you, to each and every one of you here. My attitude today is one of gratitude, the magnitude of which is infinitude and plenitude. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was truly touching and, as always, a pleasure to listen to. Thank you. To quote a Greek philosopher, change is the only thing constant in this life, and change is required for evolution. In keeping with this ethos, let us now welcome our new Vice Chancellor. May I request our Chancellor to do the honors, please.
I warmly welcome our new Vice Chancellor, 6th Vice Chancellor to Manipal University, and bid farewell to Ram Narayan, the 5th Vice Chancellor who demitted office recently. Thank you.
I also request our Pro-Chancellor to present a bouquet to the new Vice Chancellor. I now call upon our Vice Chancellor to address the audience.
We get typecast as, I think, a person of few words, never known to make a long speech, man of action more than words. We get typecast in our roles. So Mrs. Pai was telling that no, Vinod I know will not speak too long. So I think that's the first mistake, ma'am. So you didn't know me. My long talks are usually 3 hours and the short ones are 2. So today I choose the shorter one. Respected Chancellor Dr. Pai, Mrs. Pai, Dr. Balal, Mrs. Indra Balal, Dr. Ram Narayan, Dr. Ranjan, Dr. Suren Shetty, Dr. G.K. Prabhu, the 2 Parvatis, Malini, all my well-wishers who are here today, the extended Manipal family that includes administrators, faculty, the staff of the university, the teachers, the students, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I don't know whether it is written anywhere, but a couple of observations. Vice Chancellors may change, but Parvati remains, I was told, so one Parvati is replaced by the other. This is a singular honor for me to have been nominated for the most coveted position of the life of an academic. All of us who have been Vice Chancellors have joined as the first level faculty, what in industry you call as management trainees. We join as lecturers and we grow up. We grow up with the system and then we reach a position where we become professors. Some of us become heads of institutions, and if you look at the pyramid, very few get to that most coveted position. And I'm honored by having been invited to assume this position of leadership. The second thing I learned today was from Ram. You learn new things every day. That there's a pin between a sari and a blouse. I didn't know this. The House of Commons, when the Speaker for the House of Commons is elected, and there's a tradition, and the English are very tradition bound. The Speaker is dragged to his seat. He is a reluctant leader, and he is dragged from wherever he is sitting, and when his name is announced, and made to sit in the position of the Speaker of the House. And the tradition can be dated back to 1394, when between 1394 and 1534, for about 140 years, there were 7 speakers of the house who were beheaded. We have no such tradition in Manipal University, so I took up this position most willingly and with all humility. I owe this to my parents. My parents who brought me to a level where they place so much premium on good education, so much so that my dad even refused promotions so that my schooling should not be disturbed. He chose to be in one location so that I need not have to change my school, and then made me what I am today. I wish he was here to be a part of this function. I owe this to my associates, my supervisors, my colleagues, my students, all my well-wishers, and not necessarily in any particular order. What has Manipal meant to me? I grew up in the neighboring town of Udupi between 60 and 65. I did my first 5 years of schooling in North School, and that was when Manipal was just coming up. And then there used to be one particular spot near Victoria Club, the Golden Jubilee Hall. I think that was in the Kasturba Gandhi Road, where if you stand in the evening, you could see on the horizon the tall buildings of Manipal 3 miles away. There was just that spot in Udupi where you could see Manipal coming up. These tall buildings like the marching soldiers, so coming up in Manipal, and we took pride in those because we had never seen any high rises in our lives. And this was Manipal from a distance. I took my first oral polio drops here in Manipal Hospital when the oral polio was just made available to the population. And later on, Dr. Pai reminded me when I joined this place that it was my uncle, Dr. Bhaskar Bhatt, who had given the idea to Dr. T.M.A. Pai to set up a private medical college when he himself had not got an opportunity to study medicine. And then it was my other uncle who came and set up the Department of Urology in Kasturba Hospital. So therefore, I think there has been a deep connect between me and Manipal. And it extended to a period when, in 1974, I had the honor of receiving a prize from the hands of Dr. T.M.A. Pai in P.C. Jabbins College, Hubli, where I had relocated for continuing my education. When it came to seeking a seat in medical college, I was unfortunate enough not to get here. Tried for an MD seat here, but it didn't happen. So there were 2 times when I felt let down when I could not get a seat in Manipal, but destiny had something else for me. After serving in government service for about 1.5 years, where the very day that I joined government service, I decided that this is not the place for me, and looking at ways and opportunities and avenues for going somewhere else. In 87, when the Dr. T.M.A. Pai Rotary Hospital was being planned in Karkala, and Parvati was with a 6-month-old baby at that time, she was asked to join. And we both went and set up the hospital. We were there from 87 to 2003. And to me, it meant so much because what I didn't get by way of either a medical undergraduate or postgraduate seats, everything else after that has been Manipal. Parvati got a DGO and MD in OBG in Manipal. My sons studied here in Udupi in Mukunda-Kripa, continued their education in Bonandra College in Karkala. The elder one did his engineering from MIT Manipal. The younger one finished his medicine from MCOMS Nepal, and he is now doing his MD here back in Manipal. So I was really a winner in that sense that what I couldn't do, the rest of them did it all. So I hope the next generation of Butts will come back and study here in Manipal. When I joined in Karkala Hospital as a medical officer, and also concurrently as a lecturer in the Department of Community Medicine, that was something that perhaps laid the foundation for leadership, either at the hospital or through Rotary, and I have some of my Rotary friends here, Raja and MR, and we have the Prabhu family who supported me to the hilt, whether it was the hospital, the projects, or anything that I did in Karkala was supported by these people. Tukaram is here, is a major donor to Rotary Foundation, but all these people made this possible through the hospital. And these are the real people who carried the flag of Manipal in their communities. What did Manipal mean to me then? I was told in the Department of Community Medicine, of which Karkala Hospital was a part, that I will be reporting to the head of the department, and fine, I did that. I was also told by Dr. Pai that you have any problem, come and meet me. And the first time I met Dr. Pai was when he visited Karkala to see the interns hostel project and wanted to see the construction at what stage he was. He had come there for the obituary of Professor K.D. Kinney, who had passed away at just that point of time. And that was my first meeting with Dr. Pai. I can still remember that day, that time, in the late afternoon, when I went and met him at the construction site and showed him everything. I didn't meet him after that for the next 2 or 3 years. Absolute empowerment. And that has been the mantra all throughout. Whether it was the Department of Community Medicine, whether it was Kasturba Hospital, Manipal, whether it was Manipal University, in my various capacities, I don't think anybody else has done so many. I think all my tenures were truncated. So I was given a full 3 years tenure in community medicine. They changed me after 2 years, 10 months. I was given a 3-year tenure in Kasturba Hospital. Rajan changed me after 1 year. So I was given a 3-year tenure as a registrar. They changed me in 2 years, 8 months. I hope this 5-year tenure will continue. Absolute empowerment. In all these positions. And Dr. Pai's one thing stands out in my mind. Either in recruiting a student or an employee, merit alone counts. Do not be swayed by any influence. We are that by your side. So this is the time of the year when we have so much of pressure for giving seat to someone who perhaps does not deserve that admission, and we are bold enough to say that no, you will not get it. And this is only because of the backing Dr. Pai provides. Even for recruitment for faculty or any other position, he says merit alone counts. So do not give out of turn for anybody who lacks either merit or the competence to hold that seat of either a student or a faculty. So this is something unique. You don't see this in any privately administered university or college. And to this, I think this is one of the reasons you find continuity of service of like-minded people. You have Dr. Balal there who served, I don't know, 45 years. Am I revealing your age? 45 years in Manipal. We have Dr. Surendra Shetty, who's studied in the neighborhood and not seen anything beyond Manipal system in all his 50 years of either as a student or as a faculty. You have Ram, you have GK. Now, all of us have put 25 plus years, and I can count many more in this audience who have done that. This is only because of that kind of integrity that is demonstrated by leadership. And it's to that I think we owe a lot, and we got to make sure that we keep up this tradition. We take pride in our legacy. We take pride in the achievements of Dr. T.M.A. Pai. Can you imagine this man at the age of 27 years, 26 years, he had set up a bank. He had set up, he had already had the ideas of a medical college. He was teaching in primary schools. He had a clinic that was taking care of the poor. And he had this idea sown about a university township back then at 26, 27. And that is the pride that we got to take it all through our lives. We take pride in Dr. Pai's execution of his father's dream and even outperforming what Dr. T.M.A. Pai could not do in his lifetime of setting up a university on its own was taken up by Dr. Ramdas Pai and executed, and in the year 1993, we got our deemed university status and never stopped growing after that. So we take pride in that. We take pride in the way we embrace transparency. Anything that we do in the university is absolutely transparent. And we take pride, as we said, in our integrity. Let's also look at our productivity. In these last 7 years, we have been at our productive best. We have set up 16 departments and started close to 100 different programs in these last 7 years. We have doubled our student intake, and we have forecast an extramural funding for the university for this financial year of 75 crores. And this is something that we think is possible. This momentum has to continue and has to be expressed through all that we do, whether it is new campuses, new institutes, research publications, or grants. I set myself a target of setting up 100 new departments in the next 5 years. What is the purpose for which we are doing all this? Why we do becomes as important as what we do. We train global workforce. We produce compassionate and adroit health professionals. We produce CEOs for the Fortune 500 companies of the world. We help countries develop their manpower requirement. Take the example of Malaysia, where you have one in 4 practicing doctor who's trained in Manipal. You take the example of Sultanate of Oman, where every respiratory technician who's there in every hospital of Oman is a Manipal student. You look at our neighborhood, and this is where our need can be effectively used for training manpower for growing countries. We have an extensive and varied outreach program that includes well-being, healthcare, literacy, education, and employability. It is time for us to rededicate ourselves for a larger national cause. We represent the best of higher education in the country, and we need to expand this both within our country and in our neighborhood. We need to be empathetic to our students and patients who continue to be our primary stakeholders. The university has come thus far because of the overarching support of Mahe Trust and the University Board, the vision and ideals of Dr. Ramdas Pai and Ranjan, the administrative acumen of Dr. Balal, the systematic approach of Dr. G.K. Prabhu, and the collective wisdom of all the previous Vice Chancellors. For the next part of the journey, we need to identify and nurture and let loose a large body of talent that exists within the system, unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of our faculty, a larger engagement with the group companies like MAGE and MHEPL and Stemputics, and tap the youthful energies of our student. I set myself a target of breaking into the QS 200 world rankings by the year 2020. Target sub 200 should be the audacious goal for Manipal University. I hold myself responsible for this goal and subject myself to periodic review processes. And when we succeed, it will be your victory. Failure is not an option. 2018 will be the year when we celebrate the Silver Jubilee of Manipal University. We begin planning for that event right now. Thank you for reposing your faith in me. I spoke about pride, I spoke about productivity, I spoke about the purpose, and I spoke about the professional dedication, the 4 Ps which should guide us. Let us work towards achieving our 5-year targets and goals. The future is here. We start work today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm sure the audience is convinced that the new Vice Chancellor is not just a man of action, but also of words, wit, and wisdom as well. Thank you. To conclude the proceedings, we have our Registrar, Dr. G.K. Prabhu, who will propose the vote of thanks.
Before starting this program, the mandate was for me to close this or conclude this by 7 p.m. Just to inform you that the delay is not because of my vote of thanks. Distinguished dignitaries, on and off the days, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me an immense pleasure to propose the vote of thanks on this very special occasion, farewell function to our immediate past Vice Chancellor, Dr. K. Ram Narayanan, and welcoming the new Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt. First of all, it is my pleasant duty to thank Dr. K. Ram Narayanan for accepting our invitation. Sir, being as a registrar, it was really a pleasant learning experience working with you, and I thoroughly enjoyed. I would like to copy many qualities. Hope that there will be no copyright violation. And the one that I would like to mention is attention to details. That is the one thing that I would like to copy. The another thing which I already copied is the way in which you are using the lift, only for coming down, sir. I do remember that you are mentioning that all the teachers and administrators to exhibit 3 A's: approachable, accessible, and available. And I also have one definition, sir, for RAM. R stands for respect. You respect everyone, superior, peers, subordinates, and students, parents, their ideas. When I visited many of these functions, sometimes I feel very bad because other universities, the way in which the registrars are being treated. But today I'm very, very happy the way in which you have treated your registrar. Sir, thank you very much. That is for R, respect. A for, again, as I told, attention to detail, sir. And M stands for meticulous. So this is my definition for RAM. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I cherish those moments of association, and I also look forward for the continued interactions with you. Thank you very much for everything. Special thanks to Mrs. Parvati Ramnarayan for her presence today. Ma'am, I would like to tell a few things. So, because everyone talk about Dr. Ram. So today I'm very, very happy. By the same time, we also appreciate and recognize your support and contributions. So thank you very much. To highlight few of the incidents, yes, I know you are preparing good food, ready to eat along with Vice Chancellor Ramnarayan. Suddenly emergency call by registrar saying that there will be an immediate program. Sir comes. I do not know what you do manage with the prepared food, man. Incident 2, there will be a lot of guests. You have planned for some kind of a family activity. Suddenly one more emergency call saying that there is important guest came. Sir definitely comes. I do not know how to manage with the relatives and the planned activity. Incidents 3, most of the time we invite you to sit in the program as a Vice Chancellor's wife. As a Vice Chancellor, we are all sitting here on that, and we will put you on the first seat with in front of loudspeakers, giving 2 earplugs. So those are the things. I'm sure that there will be a lot of sacrifice, contribution, and we appreciate and recognize. And I'm sure it will continue, ma'am, in even a new position. So please bear with us. So we congratulate our new Vice Chancellor, Dr. H. Vinod Bhatt, and we look forward to work with you. So thank you very much for your presence to the functions today. As Dr. Ramnarayan has already mentioned, sir, you are ready. We are telling we are also ready. Let's go, sir. Thank you very much. Special thanks to Dr. Parvati Bhatt and Dr. Dhananjay Bhatt for their presence. Dr. Parvati, ma'am. So now your turns, ma'am. So there will be a lot of emergency call. I'm sure you are very well versed with the emergency call from the patient. But today and now onwards, it will be from the registrar. The best way to tolerate, ma'am, please join for all the functions. and so that sir will also be there for a little more time with us. So thank you very much, and we look forward for your association too. Our respected Chancellor of Manipal University, Dr. Ramdas Empai, is the source of inspiration for all the activities of Manipal University. On behalf of everyone here, I thank you for your support, sir, and felicitating outgoing Vice Chancellor and welcoming the new Vice Chancellor. Thank you very much, sir. I also thank Mrs. Vasanti Pai, ma'am. So thank you very much for your presence. Special thanks to Dr. H.S. Ballal, Pro-Chancellor of Manipal University, for giving the felicitation address from Manipal University. Thank you very much, sir. And I also thank Mrs. Indira Ballal for participating in the meeting. I thank Dr. Ranjan Pai, MD and CEO, MEMG, for gracing this occasion and felicitating Dr. Ram Narayanan. Thank you, sir. Special thanks to Dr. V. Surendra Shetty, Pro Vice Chancellor, for delivering the welcome address. I thank Dr. Ullas Kamath, Dr. Dilip Naik, and Dr. Harish Chandra Hebbar for expressing their sentiments and felicitating as representatives from the constituent institution of Manipal University, and Dr. Purnima Baliga for reading the citation. Thank you very much, sirs and madam. Special thanks to the relatives and the well-wishers of Dr. K. Ramnarayan and Dr. Vinod Bhatt, who have participated and witnessed this function. I also thank the officials of MEMG and MAGE, Bangalore, for their participation. Thank you very much. I thank the heads of the institutions, associate directors, associate deans, joint directors, vice principals, heads of the teaching hospitals, heads of the various departments, faculty members, university directors, and officials for participating in this event. Thank you very much. The whole program is webcasted live. I am sure many of the colleagues and friends are watching this program from the Manipal Group campuses and the various parts of the world. I thank them for witnessing this program, and also thank our IT team for their support and making this happen. Thank you very much. I thank the members of the press and media for their presence today. I thank the Master of Ceremony, Dr. Suma Nair, Director of Student Affairs, for guiding this through our program as a Master of Ceremony. Thank you. Special thanks to Ms. Josma, the student of MPH, for the melodious invocation. I also thank all the concerned officials for their logistic support and all the people responsible directly or indirectly in the successful conduct of this function. Thank you very much.
With that, we come to the end of the program. Thank you one and all for being here. Have a great evening. Thank you, sir.